Hello plant friends. Hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy out there in real life land. In this episode, we try to tackle one of the most common questions ever asked regarding variegated Monstera or variegated plants in general, I feel. What the heck do we do with brown spots or browning or burning of the leaves? Right. What to do? What to do with something like this, a variegated Monstera, and I just have these, brown tips, right, or edges. So first of all, I will say that I have been to greenhouses where they, store and grow these guys in very, very high humidity and optimal warmth. And their variegated Monstera, their white parts are also browning at the tips. Okay, so for those who are just like keep increasing the humidity, yes, that's true. I think humidity is definitely a factor, but it's not the only thing. I think humidity, probably like the harshness of the light, like direct versus indirect light, and also there's probably some inherent vulnerability that each specimen sort of has to browning. So when I look at browning, and the browning is only on the variegated parts, not on the green part. Let me look at some of the other leaves here. These are fine. This one obviously is an older leaf. This one is right, that part just basically the same thing happened. It got wrecked, right? But as you can see, the browning and the burning is really isolated to just the variegated, the white, parts. So when that's the case, I really don't worry about it too much, or basically at all. My humidity in my place is sort of as good as it's gonna get. I'm not going to increase it so much that it makes me uncomfortable in my own place just so that I can minimize browning. I don't think that's really necessary or a smart way to live with your plants. So when I look at a leaf like this, I'm like, okay, that's just par of the course. I think that if you really wanted to, you could move this to a spot in your house that's like closer to the humidifier or away from the any like heating source. I think that will kind of sort of indirectly increase the local humidity or the humidity around this particular plant without you having to change the humidity in your house, right? So move it to an area that's like closer to your humidifier and away from any heating sources, especially during the winter time. The other thing I can say is like, well, should I cut this off? If this is the only leaf, or this is like the topmost leaf, as in this leaf isn't there, right? So this like your plant ends right here, then I would, and I did, just leave this leaf. I would leave it and see how the future leaves come out as. Luckily, we have a new leaf that came out that's much more evenly distributed, right? I think this variegation, we kind of have probably like about 40% of the leaf is variegated, 40 to 50 or something like that, right? So very well and evenly burst. That's good. This is more of what I want. This is obviously less of what I want, even taking the burning and the browning aside. This is the newest leaf, and any future leaves will just grow from here, right? So this leaf is, it's just, a leaf now, and it doesn't matter. I can cut this leaf off if I didn't like it, and it really would not impact the growth of this plant, right? I'm not interfering with the growing point. And also this leaf, because it's all white and variegated and lacking chlorophyll, this leaf is not providing that much energy for the plant. If anything, the plant is probably providing more energy and, water and all that stuff to keep or try to keep this plant this leaf alive, right? And also this plant has plenty of other leaves and plenty of other chlorophyll and green parts. So if I didn't like this, I could just easily just cut it right here, cut this leaf off, and I think that's perfectly fine to do. Some people cut just the brown tips off, and I think that's that's perfectly fine as well, right? So if you cut like, if you cut the brown tips off, it sort of becomes like something like this. And does this leaf in its like absurdity, crookedness and stuff, does this leaf look better than this leaf with the brown parts, staying? I just sort of keep the brown parts. I don't know. I have this thing for imperfect plants. I have this thing where, this sort of reminds me of, I don't know, our own deficiencies. And I think like looking at leaves like these, leaves with spots or imperfections, it makes me feel humble, I guess, and or grounded, if that makes any sense at all. But yes, for a leaf like this, you can definitely cut off just the parts. But the thing is that, when you cut off the parts of the browning parts, it's not that long till it browns from where you cut it. So just take that. Just know that's gonna happen. So eventually, like even if I cut this, I cut all the brown parts away, probably in a month or within a month, it's going to be a much more brown. So then at that point, I might as well just cut this entire leaf off. I'm probably just going to leave it just because I'm too lazy to cut it off or something. But yeah, you can totally cut this off if it really bothers you, right? And I think that's really important too. I think like the plants are supposed to, I guess, instill this sense of peace or calm or joy. We grow them for the positive feelings and not really for the negative feelings, right? They're not supposed to add more to our stress level or anxiety or something, right? So if looking at that leaf really, really bothers you, then cut it off, right? Or if looking at these brown parts, really, really bother you, then cut it off. It's your plant, right? Like it's not. So the option to do nothing, if I just leave this leaf, it's just going to continue to brown till I can't take it anymore, and I'm just gonna chop it off. If I chop off just the brown parts right now, it's probably gonna brown from where I cut it and continue till I sort of have to chop it off. And I think leaving it like that in its brownness, I don't know, it sort of appeals to me in its like whole leaf structure more than that guy appeals to me. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. I hope that you got some ideas or some new thoughts about that. Hope you guys liked the episode. Oh, and if you guys like the shirt, it's on my links down there on Teespring or something, and also on my Amazon storefront. So if you guys like the shirt and you want to support the channel, get one. Till next time, happy planting.